what we have here right now is the learn and talk lesson material. This lesson usually used by the working adult. Yeah, and I think this is the most or the favorite material. So we have to remember, as you can see there, this material is composed of 12 pages. So of course this one is the first page. So this is how I handle the class. Of course, when you are handling an adult, there should always be an introduction like that. um, Maybe 2 minutes. So you can just say hi, hello, how are you, good evening, good morning, did you already eat your breakfast, your dinner, or anything that you may ask from the adult. And then when we are going to start the lesson, I would always ask them, okay, so are you now ready to start our lesson for tonight? And when the adult would say, yes, teacher, I'm ready. So then let us now start reading. Okay, may I ask you to please read? So I would let my student read the title itself. Chapter 1, Shopping. Lesson 9, Online Shopping. So the reason why I am asking them to read the title is for me to assess whether I need to correct them, correct their pronunciation, or that would be your way of assessment, of assessing the student where you're going to hit. So once the students have already read the title, then you can now proceed to the next page. But you have to also to observe how the student read the words. If it needs to be corrected, then you may say, again, can you say it? Shopping, chapter, like that. You should always be very observant on how your students, on how your student is reading the words. Now, the second page here, yeah, I do not actually discuss this one. It's a bit of content. I proceed with this vocabulary. So the first word that we have there is, okay, you're gonna let your student read the word order. Then let the student read the meaning and the example sentence. And if, for you to really know whether the students have understood the meaning of the word, you have to let the student make a sentence using these words. So, for example, the student was able to read already the word order, the meaning of it, the example sentence, then it's time for the student to give the example sentence. There are times that I would first be the one who's going to give my example sentence. That if the student find it hard to understand the word. So I will make my own sentence like, I'd like to order a piece of shirt. So that's it. So it's time now for the student to give the sentence. You also have to observe the sentence that the student is making. There are times that there is an error in the grammar, subject verb agreement, like that. You have to also notice that. And when the student is telling you the sentence or sharing the sentence, it is better for you to type it on the board. And then after that, once she or he is done saying it, you let the student read the sentence that he or she has made. And also, it is also your way of knowing if there is an error in grammar, and sometimes a student himself would notice that there is something wrong in the grammar with that particular sentence. So that's it, you will only be doing that with all the words that you will encounter here. So the next word is deal. So first we have to remember, let the student read the word, the definition, the example sentence, and you as a teacher may also give or should also give your own example, and after that, let the student make his or her own example. So until you finish the vocabulary. And the next part here is the dialogue. So what I am doing here is that first, we're going to be having a dialogue. First, I'll be Anna. Second, then she'll be Fiona. And then once we are done reading this, we're going to be shifting. This time, she'll be Anna and I'm Fiona. Yeah. Be sure that the characters are really acted by both of you. So after that, after reading this, before I proceed to the next page, I would always ask my students if he or she has any clarification about the dialogue. If she would say, I don't have any question, teacher, okay, then let's proceed further. So the next page here, this time you will be reading everything and you should tell me what would be the answer for each blank. And of course, you're going to tell the student that the choices or the hints are on that side. And then the student would read it, would give the correct answer. Once done, again, ask the question, do you have any clarification about this here before we proceed further? If the student have no further question, then you may move forward. And the next part of this is the question and answer or the discussion. So, of course, you as a teacher would read the question, or sometimes if you would really want the students to enhance the reading prowess, the reading skills, so you can let the student read the questions. But most of the time, I am the one reading the questions. So, once the students have answered the questions, well, actually, when they answer it, there are hints on how they are going to answer. But there are times that I do not mind about the hints. Whatever the answer of the student, so long as it is related to the question, then it's fine. And for me to stretch the time, I would always ask follow up questions based on the answer of the students. And that is what the students really like, for them to, formulate their ideas, speak out, because free talk, as what we say, they would really like it if there are lots of, if you are going to give them chance to speak. So follow up questions that would trigger them to think critically, and that is what they like. So once the answer is there, try to think of a follow-up question really, but based on the answer of the student. And sometimes you can also add more. Let's say, for example, if she answered something which is related to you, or which you have already experienced, you can also cite your experience relating to the answer of the students. And he or she may also add something, and you can exchange ideas. That is what actually, or that is what is best in this material, because there is a discussion and you can always expound the ideas of the students, and of course follow up questions. So I think we have 2 or 3 questions in this material. So yeah, number 2 question, the same thing will be done. Read the question, let the student answer it, and then you may raise follow-up questions based on the answers. And yes, okay, there are actually 3 questions. So just read it, ask the student, let it be answered. And in the last part here, so yeah, so it's a review. So what I'm doing here, okay, so in this lesson, these are the words that you have learned. Can you please read? So let the student read again. And also the common expressions used for online shopping. Just read it like that. And then, okay, and also in this lesson, you're able to learn how to talk about online shopping. Then the students is fine. She or he was able to read everything. And the next page would be, oh, there we have it. We are done with our lesson for tonight. So before we end, before we say goodbye, do you have any question? And if the student would say no question, then you say goodbye. However, if there is still, let's say, a minute or two, we have to remember this is only in the 11th page. There is another one last page, which is the page 12. You can still let the student read this, so that you would reach 25 minutes. Okay, but then in that previous page, if you already finished with 25 minutes, or if it is already 26 or 7 minutes, you don't need to go to this page. You can just simply say goodbye and see you again next